Hi everyone. So Theresa May has come out yesterday and was talking to some housing association gala and announced that the UK under her government will be pledging an extra £2 billion for affordable housing. Which sounds great, doesn't it? Wonderful. We need affordable housing in this country. So this is the Independent's take on it this morning. Theresa May announces new £2 billion fund for building low-cost homes. I won't read all this article. I only want to highlight a few paragraphs. It says here, the Prime Minister told associations they will be allowed to apply for money for the next decade in a bid to give them greater financial security. Mrs May also called for an end to the stigma around social housing that she said sees many politicians look down on people who live in low-cost homes. Many politicians, yeah. The ones on the left side of, as you look at Parliament, the Conservatives, they're the ones who look down. I don't think Labour people would. I can't imagine Jeremy Corbyn looking down on somebody just because they live in a council house. Or Diane Abbott. Chuck Ramuna, I can. She told a conference at the National Housing Federation, which represents housing associations, that the most ambitious providers will be able to bid for government money that will last them for a decade. The money will come from housing budgets in the next spending review period, the details of which are not expected until next year. Okay. Miss May said that if you were going to take a serious role in not just managing but building the homes this country needs, you have to have the stability provided by long-term funding deals. Well, 8 housing associations have already been given such deals worth almost $600 million and paving the way for almost 15,000 new affordable homes. Sounds great, doesn't it, all this? Sounds absolutely wonderful. She's adding another $2 billion. Sounds wonderful. Miss May used her speech at last year's Conservative Party conference to announce $2 billion of new investments in low-cost housing, enough to build 5,000 homes a year. Oh, well, so this is an additional $2 billion. So it's enough to build 10,000 affordable homes a year. Write that down. So she's another 10,000 per year. We'll come back to that figure. See how much it really is. However, Labour said the latest cash injection would not be enough to reverse the impact of previous cuts to housing budgets. No shit, Sherlock. John Healey, Labour's shadow housing secretary, said, quote, Theresa May's promises fall far short of what's needed. Any pledge of new investment is welcome, but the reality is spending on new affordable homes has been slashed, so the number of new social rented homes built last year fell to the lowest level since records began. 217,000 homes were built last year. 217,000. They pledged, the Tories did, they were going to build 250,000 a year. Experts were saying, no, 250,000 is not enough. You need to be building at least 300,000 a year with the state that we're in at the moment. They built 217,000. However, how many of those are affordable? Well, typically 28% of the government contracts that are given housing associations, 28% of the houses they build are meant to be low-income affordable housing. 28%. The reality is only 7% actually are. So what's 7% of 217,000? That's about 15,000 homes. Fits her figures, so that would be correct. So with another 5,000 she announced last year, another 5,000. So what she's saying is we're going to get an extra 25,000 low-income or affordable houses a year. It's not enough. It's not even close. Look at the house prices since 1952. We had massive house building, social house building. We built houses just non-stop between the end of the Second World War and up until the end of the 1970s. And you can see there the price really didn't shift much. But then in the 1970s, Margaret Thatcher came in. Neoliberalism, the dawn of neoliberalism. The government stopped building houses as much, drastically cut it for the first time ever. Private companies started making the majority of the houses in this country. And look what happened to the prices since. Just look at that. You got the housing crisis 1988, went down for a few years, and then you got the one in 2008. Wouldn't be surprised if another one's around the corner. This is supply and demand which is causing this. The reason that the price of the houses stayed relatively constant between the 1940s and the 1970s, many people think, I am one of them, is that they were being built. It's supply and demand. If you supply something that's equal to the demand, price remains stable. If the demand goes up and your supply goes down, the price is going to go up. More people want what you are selling. And likewise, if you build more houses than are required, the price of the houses goes down. It's really supply and demand. It's that simple. Simple economics. And when obviously the housing associations in this country started taking over and private builders started taking over in the 1980, it wasn't affordable housing that was being made. And obviously the people that bought their house in, say, 1979, in the late 1970s, the house price has gone up 10 times that amount. In that time, 10 times. Do you think the wages have gone up that much since? The wages have pretty much stayed the same. It's not enough to drop in the ocean. It's paying fealty to people. It's all, you know, look, we're doing something, even though it's not even the bare minimum. Labour, on the other hand, and I'm not a Labour supporter, I keep saying this, I'm not a Labour supporter, however, I do support Jamie Corbyn, and these policies are right up my street. They really are. This is from their website, their manifesto. It doesn't have to be like this. Labour will invest to build over 1 million new homes. By the end of the next Parliament, we will be building at least 100,000 council and housing association homes a year for genuinely affordable rent or sale. That's what's needed. When you've got almost 1 in 4 people in this country living in poverty, lowering wages, you know, wages being lowered, the price of rent and the price of houses still going up, it's widening the poverty gap. It's just widening the gap. We need something to readdress that balance, and that means that we need to go back. Unfortunately, as much as you may dislike it if you're a Tory, we need to go back to actually building the homes ourselves. 300,000 a year, like I say, is needed minimum. And if Labour are saying 100,000, a third of those are going to be affordable, that sounds a hell of a lot better, 100,000 a year, than 15,000 a year that May is saying. It's another crap promise, is what it is. And remember, this is just a promise. They've pledged that they were going to be building 250,000 a year, and last year they did 217. It was more than they had for a while. Still not even close to being enough. Not even close. I think it's about time she went. I think it's about time the Tories went, and we actually had a government working for the people in this country instead of the bankers. Don't you? If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe and click the bell below. Independent media voices like mine are being centred across all social media platforms, so please share my videos everywhere you can to spread the word. If you can, please become a patron. The link is below as well. $1, $2, $5 a month, whatever you can afford. It really helps. I cannot do this without your support. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time, peace and take care.